And recording. So, about a month or so ago, I reacted to As I Lay Dying, a song by the name of Blinded, and I really, really liked it, like a lot. I think metalcore is one of those genres where, for whatever reason, I just never really gave it a chance, and I kind of like glossed over all the different bands and didn't really pay too much attention. But within the last year or so, I've actually been trying to work backwards and find out what the bands actually sounded like, and pretty much just give them that chance I never gave them and see if I can enjoy it. With that in mind, I actually had a request to do another As I Lay Dying song by the name of Torn Between. And I actually have it queued up here on YouTube. Nuclear Blast Records. This is the seventh studio album called Shaped by Fire. It this is it looks like this is actually from this year, May of this year. So this is pretty recent. 4/4/11. This should be maybe like a single, I'm assuming. In any case, I'm just gonna jump right into it. There it is. Both ways, but still suspended. The worst of each, reduced and blended. Still give it a quick pause there. I like the contrast of the different vocal stylings happening there. There was three different ways I was hearing the actual vocals. There's the growls, then there was the silent sort of whispered cleans that were happening behind him, and then the actual clean vocals where it's a higher register. I like the interplay between the three different sounds, even though it's only two people doing it. Uh, the growls sound nice and clear and a little crisp, so that you can actually make out words, and it's not just noise. And then the cleans have kind of more, I guess, vulnerable sound to them. That's probably not the word he would want to use to describe it, but yeah. I think it's just because of the higher register of it. It kind of comes across that way to me. So like a heavy growl versus like a clean, higher sort of vulnerable sound. Like it sandwiches really well together, especially in the mix. That beginning portion that sounded like a reversed melody that kind of got faded in, it was probably guitar work, but it sounded like keyboards, which made me think of like the first album that Disturbed did. Obviously, they're not a metalcore band, but they had a bunch of songs that had that kind of like intro or that kind of backing layer to their tracks. So it was cool. Then obviously it gets into the normal riffage that I'm associating now with metalcore. It's like a fluttering sound, but then very melodic, Drum work is nice and crisp. I like it a lot. This guy's got big beard. Looks almost like a Yeti right here. Like you can't see his face at all. That's funny. Rewind just a smidge. That was pretty cool. He had like a really weird kind of like, I'm assuming he's a hacker. He's meant to be like a computer hacker, but he had a weird setup with like a really old monitor, and like all his gear was super old too. That's the video. The music was excellent. I enjoyed this a great deal. There was a bunch of different drops. Uh, every so often, the 4 beat would disappear, so that you just fill it in with your head, and then there was that entire little form. Was it 4 measures? Where like the drum work just completely went away, and I went in a little too quick with my with my pantomime. And yeah, drum work was awesome. Guitar work was great. The solos sounded really good. For a 4-minute song, this actually like really like packed a punch. The riffs and grooves were so nice. And like I said earlier, the growls, like I just enjoyed him like immensely. Like the quality and sound and character of his voice like actually sounds really good with the instrumentation. Yeah. Like obviously this is a short song, so there's not a lot to deconstruct or anything, but this is one of those things where if it is a single, I want to hear the album. And if this is their recent sound, this is what they sound like now, then it sounds like they're still hitting on all cylinders. Like the older stuff that I've heard, it's been very good, but it sounds like this is kind of a slightly evolved version of what they were doing. So nothing wrong with that. It's actually like a big positive, and I kind of would like to see them live. I wouldn't mind seeing them live, so I'm gonna listen to more.